Hey folks, Chris Friend here from Jenson USA, and today we're going to walk you through on how to install a dropper post. So, if your bike doesn't already have a dropper post, installing one will have a profound impact on your riding capability. It allows you to keep the saddle down low and out of the way when you're descending and riding through gnarly terrain, and it allows you for the saddle to ascend when you're climbing, and giving you good pedal posture and efficiency. So this can all be done with a pretty basic set of tools. All we really need is a pair of cable cutters, a pair of side cutters, and some various Allen keys to help get on some various bolts and nuts on the bike. The procedure is pretty simple, but we want to start with identifying a few things on the bike. First, we want to make sure whether our dropper post is internally routed or externally routed. Basically what that means is the cable actuation happen on the inside of the seat tube or on the outside of the frame. Most modern trail bikes are going to be internally routed, and this tutorial is going to follow internal routing today. However, external routing follows much of the same steps, but it's just going to be easier trying to find a way to route your cable. Now, it's easy to get confused because a lot of bikes may have cable running on the outside, but it is still an internally routed post, and there's usually like a grommet or a hole at the bottom of the seat tube allowing you to push the cable through. Our first step is going to be run the cable housing up to the seat post. On this particular bike, it is internally routed. There is an access port on the bottom to help us make the bend around the bottom bracket up into the seat tube, but that's going to be our first step, is running that cable. Next, we're going to cut our cable housing to length. I definitely prefer my cables on the shorter side, but this is definitely a personal choice. What I have found is taking about a fistful from the exit of the head tube and a fistful from the exit of the seat tube is you get about the proper length for it to make one rotation. After your cable housing has been cut the length, go ahead and add the cable ends to your cable housing. Next, you're going to take your cable and attach it to the post itself. Now this is different for every post, so make sure you follow the instructions and refer to the manual of your individual post. However, most posts are pretty similar and it's usually pretty straightforward. Once the cable is attached, then you can actually feed it through the cable housing. Once it pokes out the other side, you can pull it all the way through. With the cable ran through the housing, you can now pull the cable and the housing through the frame with the post attached and get the post in position. Once the post is positioned, you can clamp it down. After the post is installed and in position, you can now install the lever. Simply just run the cable through the lever and then clamp it down. Before you install the lever to the handlebar, check the actuation to make sure there's not any slack in the cable. Then, you can cut off the excess cable and attach your cable crimp. This is done by taking your side cutter and crushing on the cable end. Make sure you don't use too much pressure, we just want to crimp this on, we don't want to cut all the way through it. And then finally, we can attach our lever to our handlebars. And that's it for installing an internally routed dropper post. But that's pretty much it. That's all you really need to know on how to install an internally routed dropper post. If you have any questions about what kind of tools you might need or what dropper post will work best for you and your bike, please feel free to reach out to one of our gear advisors. We're happy to help you. We're here to keep you pedaling. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.